Alrighty guys, and welcome back to an educational informative Dead by Daylight Survivor game on Suffocation Pit. Arguably one of the best maps in the game for Survivor. Has one of the strongest middle of the maps on any of the maps. So, well, the first thing I'm going to do is know that we're versing a spirit and that the teammates most likely don't understand the premises of a 3-gen strat. It's a full solo queue map. I see that generator there, and I also saw the spirit was going all the way over to this side of the map. I'm going to stop leaving scratches because she's going to check on her 3 or 4 gens here, and then she's going to come straight through the map. I don't want to be spotted, I don't want to be seen, because what I want is I want to make sure that we have people working on both sides of the map. We got a teammate on the other side. I'm going to go work on this. The reason you want to work on both sides is because you don't want to shut this board down in half. You shut it down in half, it will become infinitely more killer-sided. So, right now the general premises is 2 different people on gens. We don't know where Spirit went. She came in this direction, and she probably just did her rounds and went through the middle of the map. She should force those guys off gens, I reckon, in the next 5 to 10 seconds. One of them jumped off a gen, one of them gets grabbed. Alright, bit of a rough start by our teammates. We've got a teammate with red ping too. What do we currently note? Fengmin's on the same side as me. That's unfortunate. I wanted to be on the opposite side, and I did go through the entire map. Looks like Feng had the same plan. So, this will eventually lead to a 3-gen. We have to be very careful. We can't afford people to get caught, people to go down really early. Fengmin's on her gen further away than me, and Kindred is telling me that I need to be the one going in for the save. Other gentleman is running around one of the strong loops in the middle of the map and does take a free hit in the back. Let's see the killer's intent. Looks like the killer is going to commit to the chase. Let's take the save on Feng. Does she have a med kit? The answer is yes. I'm going to proceed to work on the gen. Fengmin is still standing. Oh, there we go. She's going to jump on the generator with us. We don't know where the killer is. We don't know what the killer's intent is. She's not in chase with anyone, but when she uses her phasing ability, it ends her chase. So keeping that in mind, that she could actually be going for a phase hit on one of our teammates, the injured player, for say. We got 3 other people on gens. That to me is the only logical explanation, and that is exactly what happened, but my teammate was able to respond and appropriately use a pallet or a window. So well done by my ally. Looks like she is coming in our direction. We can hear she isn't crying, so I and Will is going to be very, very good. Looks like that's going to be information through Surge/Jolt, because we were on the gen when we screamed for the regression, for the stability. Gonna hook obviously as close to us as possible, that way she can come over and apply pressure to 2 players. I don't have a toolbox, so I could have saboed it, or baited it at least. Now, very good probability she's going to kick the gen, and she's going to have a perk called Nowhere to Hide, and see my teammate sitting in the corner of the map. Looks like she's looking straight at me. That's both good and bad. Alright, she curved around to the right. She sees me. That's okay. I've got a really good lead on her. So she'll have to make a decision here if she wants to take this chase. She'll probably go straight back to the hook, because they did hook save right in front of her. I don't think she'll keep coming for me. Heartbeat is very loud. Alright, there we go. She's phased back. It's going to take too much time. Fengmin is completing her gen, but at the price of 2 people being hooked, that's not good. I'd love to go back and work on my generator, but I know there's a very good probability that I'm going to be interrupted, and if I'm going to be interrupted, I'm not going to be able to complete it. We can see the killer is currently on top of our generator. So, what are we going to do? We're going to rotate away. Fengmin went back for the gen. Unfortunately, she pays the price and goes down, and that is going to put Fengmin on struggle, while she regresses the gen as well. So, let's keep working on this generator, and let's see what information we currently have. Or that was a pallet that Fengmin used because the killer had Jolt, so she wouldn't have been able to regress. Alright, everybody is full health. The killer's done 3 hooks, 1 gen. That means the killer is currently winning. Each hook is the equivalent of 8% productivity. So 8, 16, 24. Each gen we do is the equivalent of 20% productivity. So mathematically speaking, the killer is beating us as a group of survivors. Will she see our teammate over there? Looks like she took the M1 lunge, but my teammate did a nice cute little spin. Unfortunately for us, she's the closest one to go for the save. She runs into a wall, she gets stuck on a wall, and now she is going to go into dying state. Drops a really good pallet, camps in front of the pallet, which is not the right call, especially against the killer that you're going to want to take spacing against. Running over to me, the only person applying pressure to gens. I don't know what we're thinking here. I don't know how she ends up making that work. With information through Kindred, you wouldn't have dropped that. Alright. Now she's going to just run from pallet to pallet, making massive amounts of dead zones. So I'm going to rotate a little early. Let's see the intent. The intent is down that player because she'll have information through Jolt. She would have seen me then. I'm going to double back, which is a very predictable move for me. Fengmin is actually putting in work here. I don't believe Fengmin should be playing this efficiently. Those 2 are stacking, completing this gen. I don't know if she went back and kicked my gen. I don't think she did. She did get a pretty good amount of distance or spacing. Looks like she's got deadlock on my generator as well. Means it's not getting regressed right now. I'm tempted to take a hit for Feng. It's going to be 20 seconds on deadlock. The time I run away and leave, I could have stayed here and stayed on the gen. The good news is the killer seems to be making a lot of mistakes with their ability, or Feng Min is incredibly good. It's one of the two. But what I do know is 20 seconds on the gen, we should be able to get on it right now. The only reason we wouldn't be able to get on it is if the killer had Dead Man switch and somebody jumped on the gen. Killer didn't have Dead Man's because it lasts 50 seconds as opposed to 20 seconds. So if Dead Man's is active, make sure you run away from it. We can also tell that the killer knows that this gen is going to be close to being done and is most likely going to come back. This is really good for us. I'll take a hit to complete the gen. That is so much tunnel vision. That is so much tunnel vision. You didn't get the hit. You didn't get the pallet. We actually have a really good chance of winning this by the way the Spirit is macroing. Alright. Notice how she turned very straight liney. That tells me she's on a controller. So that's really good for business for us. Let's proceed to work on the gen near the center of the map. She got a lot of hooks really early, but she's starting to falter. Each hook, like I said, is 8%. She's at 24. We're at 60%. She was doing good. She has good stability on her objectives, but right now the issue is she's overcommitting to a tunnel. And because she is committing to that tunnel, she is going to lose. She could have let go of that chase. She would have heard the generator I was working on. She could have got me off the gen, kicked the gen, used information through nowhere to hide, used her husk at the gen in order to bait me away from the gen. There was quite a few choices that she had. You know, if we complete this generator in the center of the board, this would be very good for business because there's another gen close-ish to being done. I don't know if she has pain res. Looks like she doesn't have pain res. And the other gen is miles across the board. Getting this completed would be massive. If she breaks that gen, we're living the dream. She phased for half a second and let go of the ability to break the pallet. That's going to cost her the entire gen because she has a 3-second cooldown on phasing, even if she does a tiny touch. Alright. She sees my teammate. I need to go in for the save. The other guy's forced off the gen. He shouldn't be going too far away from it. You have access to a cute window. It is Feng Min, so do we have access to Lyth as well? Double step onto the window. Line of sight through information through Kindred. Line of sight again. Wait for the double back. That was my window to leave. That's okay. She should have played window during that. I would have got spotted then. And she could come straight back to the hook and penalize me for going for this hook save. I don't really want to do this. She took a hit on the Feng. Now, we know she does like to commit to her chases. That Feng's never been down. I'll heal him if I can. If she comes back, he needs to run in that angle. Run, run, go, go. I'm with you. Alright, I'm going to play around this. It's not a very good loot. I'll take it. That's okay. I didn't get access to what I wanted to use, but you know what? That is alright. I'm in a bit of an awkward spot, and if I go down here and I get hooked in the corner of the map, it's a long phase, and I think she went the wrong way, which is really good for me. Alright, I don't know how that happened. What I do know is she's most likely behind me, very far away. Yep, so I'm going to start running for the door. She will be able to phase and catch up to me. I do have a pallet here. My teammate's going to be able to heal. I'm not going to be able to heal, but what I am going to be able to do is just take massive spacing in a straight line. Now, unless she has mother-daughtering, she's going to assume I'm running for the door, so she's going to try and cut me off before the door. I can see a chest has been opened here, and there's a cute medkit in there. There's no point in me using it. I'm in a very awkward spot where I'm going to be able to be heard to be cried. I'm going to run all the way to the shack. That way I can proxy the shack pallet. I don't like camping things like this. I need to get on top of that door. I got an ally on the door right now. I got an ally looping the killer to my right. I don't want to drop the shack. I don't want to use the shack. I want her to have access to it. If I get full healed, I can go for a body block play on it. Alright, we got Feng Min here taking a heal for us. Rather than Feng Min healing, she could look for a body block play, and we could both play to the door. Alright, thank you to Feng. Let's go straight back through. Now, as long as this guy didn't run through the map, I have a feeling he did run through the map. And he would have went to the other door. However, we're going to see what we can do in order to save him. Running for the other door, that is okay. She has a pretty decent loop over here to still use. We got Feng Min going for the door. I'm going to make sure I do everything in my power to take a body block, take a hit, take a play. Into the grab. Nothing I can do about that. No flashlight, no possibility to look for a save play on it. Let's use line of sight as long as I possibly can. Never been hooked before, so I can actually do a rushed hook job here. Super quick hook save. Now we run both for the door. Now, she is going to cut us off, so we do a 180 and go for the other door. This is a mistake, if you ask me. I don't want to use drama, just based on the fact, unless I see her lunge, because I don't want to be hit with the exposure. There you go. So we're able to activate drama on the sound. And we got ourselves a nice little flashlight. Anyways, guys, that's going to be a solo queue educational informative game. That killer had a really good start where she applied pressure to multiple targets, but she ended up losing that game because she overcommitted to chases. Despite me working on a generator within 10 meters of her, she decided to ignore me and proceed to a chase. She didn't get the hit, she didn't get the pallet, and she lost the objective. If you guys enjoyed the educational informative commentaries, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I do educational informative DBD killer and survivor content over at Twitch if you guys want to tune into the live stream. Anyways, guys, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the fog in the next video. Have a good one. Cheers.